Hi guys, I'm Halby, and this is my guide to surviving the maximum difficulty in Democracy 3. Your first challenge is going to be to balance the budget, or else you'll be faced with a debt crisis and eventual assassination. Your next constant challenge will be to prevent any powerful groups from being too disenfranchised, or else they will also assassinate you. If you upset liberals or capitalists or ethnic minorities too much, then you get shot in the face, and that's not fun. So the first thing that we need to do is implement a corporate tax of 22% and an income tax of 62%. We do the corporate tax first because you're just not born with enough political influence to tackle income tax, although tackling income tax is the more important of the two things. The goal here is to raise enough money so that we don't get shot in the face. Getting shot in the face is bad for business. Never raise any tax higher than you need to, because at the extreme levels, taxes affect GDP, and GDP affects your income, and then it spirals downward until you're dead. Third thing we want to do is raise the petrol tax. The petrol tax, although it's not a source of very much money, it doesn't upset like anyone at all, so there's no reason not to do it, and it helps your asthma situation and reduces the amount people drive, so that's great. Next thing we want to do is tackle our two biggest expenses. As America, this is pensions and the military. As Canada, it would be pensions and healthcare, or as Britain and so on and so forth. It's different for different nations, but once you've got your expenses under control, now we have a budget surplus of $400 billion. So in amongst there, these first 6 turns, you actually have about 20 extra political capital that you can spend on some things. So this is how I use that additional political capital, although I didn't show it in the video. So first we raise corporate tax, then income tax, then we get community policing and telecommuting, then we raise our capital gains tax and enact the Racial Discrimination Act, then we do welfare fraud department to make the middle class a little bit happier. We go for the petrol tax and the military down to well-trained, and then defund state pensions. At this point, your threats should be empty, but here's an example of some that aren't empty, and I've penciled in the names of the groups that causes these threats. If any of the threats gets beyond about halfway, you're going to lose, so keep a close eye on them. Liberals are upset by Big Brother, capitalists are upset by raised taxes, and ethnic minorities are upset by immigration. In your first term, focus on shrinking the debt and not being assassinated. Once you're re-elected, you should easily be able to raise GDP by investing in some long-term projects such as education and healthcare and so on and so forth. Click here for a link to the actual Let's Play at normal speed of this entire playthrough, but after 40 turns, this is what the game looks like. I always just like to play games to win them, though. I'm weird that way. Everything is going swimmingly, so we'll end here with a $5 trillion reserve. The Federal Reserve. Imagine if that's what the Federal Reserve was. Just a reserve of money that the federal government put aside for the future. That is funny. Because we have a thing called the Federal Reserve that is not at all that. Anyway. Oh boy.